All right, so we're gonna do a review on Tru3's Wraith. The way he's kind of been building Wraith lately, and playing Wraith has taken Dead by Daylight by storm. He's been basically making Wraith a top 5, top 4 killer with this build and this play style. Tru3's one of my favorite players and killers, if not my favorite. Basically, indirectly taught me how to play the game, so thank you for that. So yeah, but without further ado, let's get after it. So yeah, first thing we're going to want to look at, obviously, is his build and what he's running and why it's so good, and what his game plan is for this game. So he has his Ruin. Obviously, it's like a staple perk for killers. Slows the game down maybe for 5 minutes, maybe for 10 seconds, but that trade-off it's worth it. Sloppy Butcher, obviously to keep survivors from healing. Keep them. He makes them heal slower, so you're going to need that, especially for this game plan. Pop Goes the Weasel. The original build was Thanatophobia instead of Pop, but I kind of like Pop more than Thanatophobia, just because of the playstyle he's doing. I think is better, but because I've been running Pop instead of Thanatophobia, and I kind of like it a little bit more, but they're interchangeable. Basically, it's more of the way he's playing that makes it really good. And then Nurses. Nurses is very specific for this type of play style and this type of goal in mind. So talking about the goal, like what does he want to do? He wants to get survivors injured. Number one, he doesn't want to continuously chase the survivor after he got that initial hit. Now, why did you say that? Well, Wraith is a really like bad chasing killer. Like he's after, his cloak is his only ability, and it doesn't help in a chase or a loop or anything. So what you want to do is you want to be able to, injure the survivors, injure a bunch of survivors, get them, scattered all over the place running, and then using his add-ons, either Bone Clapper or Coxcomb Clapper, which either renders the direction of the bell, completely up in the air, or renders the bell completely silent. So by using those add-ons, you're able to, once Nurses procs and you're able to see survivors healing, they'll be in a vulnerable state because they'll be healing. So Tru will be able to, find somewhere to uncloak safely and then get surprise hits and get a good hit and an easy down on survivors without having to go through, the whole looping process. And then he has a Windstorm add-on, which is just for, speed purposes when you're cloaked running throughout the map. So yeah, that's his goal. And it's really good. So he's going to do a lot of gen juggling, a lot of gen bouncing this game, which is nice. So something like really right off the bat that is a lot of that's good to know is, and also what I love about Tru is his ears. Tru has some of the best ears in the game. But what you should notice is that, and if you're a new killer or if you're an advanced killer, you probably already know this, but if you're a new killer, when you're kind of doing your run around gens, don't go up to each individual generator. It's it wastes a lot of your time, and basically you'll be able to hear the generator from a certain range, and you can tell if it's being worked on or not. So you're not committing to each individual generator, and you can just make a quick round around the map, because finding the survivors initially for the first 30 seconds of the game, it's a big deal, especially when you're playing against optimal survivors. So he sees the bill. What I would have liked to see, actually, one of the few criticisms I have, but I would have liked to see Tru. I think this was kind of a lazy bell here. He comes up here and uncloaks, which gives Bill the perfect opportunity to just loop through here and get through the window. Now, I don't think Tru thought that he would be able to get through the window without getting hit, but I think a better a better look would be not even like committing over here and getting on the other side of the truck, because then Bill would have too much room to run, the opposite direction. But kind of standing like here, I think would be a little bit better. Because if Bill, hightails it this way, then you're able to just loop back around and get him, and you're not completely committing on the other side of the truck. So I think this is kind of a lazy uncloak, but
Wraith's bug too. His lunge doesn't work. That would have hit.
he's talking about a bug with Wraith's lunge, which is probably true. I haven't paid attention to that bug, but I know what he's talking about.
Didn't waste it. That's smart.
So yeah, something I really like about Tru3's Wraith, and what I see a lot of Wraiths not do, or what I don't see a lot of Wraiths do, is what a lot of Wraiths do is mostly they hit someone, they uncloak, hit someone, and they just continuously chase them uncloaked, and you're basically kind of making Wraith a generic mouse one killer. And although it may work on any, like, against any generic average survivor, if you're playing against optimal survivors, you're gonna need to be a little bit smarter, a little bit more clever than that. So I really like how Tru is always in and out of cloaking and using his bell to the to its full potential, essentially. Because instead of trying to chase and constantly just chase and go around loop after loop, if you're against a good survivor, you're going to lose the game every time. So he tends to uncloak, and with Windstorm, this thing tries to beat the survivor to wherever route he's taking, and try to veer him off in a to a bad route, to where he can get an easy down. But yeah, use your bell is what I'm saying.
He second guessed himself. Okay, luckily that hit. That should have easily hit. But
He's still talking about the bug.
Not nerve, sorry, bugged.
Something with the Windstorm bug or something like that. Or with the lunge after out of cloak or something. Not Windstorm. The out of cloak lunge, or out of cloak boost.
And it's been like that for a month.
It's
one of the reasons why I think the devs are a bit more biased. These issues should not persist as long as they do. That's a slow.
So this is really good, actually. So this loop is, the bus loop. It's pretty busted. So so you have to go into the mind of the survivor here. Okay, so let's draw her little thought bubble here. Whatever, that's disgusting, but it's okay. Well, think of it this way: the survivor is very good, so we have to think. We have to turn our brains on for this. So the survivor knows that if Tru uncloaks here, and I go this way, there's no way that Tru can hit me. There's no chance. Okay, if I just continue to go around. However, she knows that he knows that, because obviously he's a good killer, he's a good player. So basically she thinks that he is going to uncloak and then vault back over the window, which even then, if that happened, he still wouldn't be able to get her. What he does really well, actually, is he's able to hide the light, not hide the light, but also just kind of fake her out and kind of look this way as he's uncloaking, to make her hesitate just for a second, to where if she slow vaults, he's able to get the hit. So this is a really good, like right there, yeah. And so she hesitates, as you can see. Try to get it here. So she hesitates, thinking he's either leaving or he's going to vault through, which, depending on where he uncloaked at, probably not going to vault through. But she thought that he's going to either, leave is one, go around this way, so she's gonna take off here. So she hesitates just for enough to where he can cut the corner and hit her on the slow vault here. So really good on his part. That was nice. That was nice. And so, not going to chase that. Needs to get more people injured. Sees the unhook, so he knows that there's one uninjured survivor. So he needs to get another hit here. Trying to evade the flashlight. That was good. Good on his part. Because that's a really annoying thing to deal with. It's getting flashlighted. Flashlit. Yeah, these survivors are good. They're just going to go for the pop. Obviously, doesn't want to waste time. Sees that she's stuck around. He can beat the corner. Yep. Doesn't have life, so lithe, whatever you want to say. So something that's really, I don't know if she was either trying to juke it, probably not, but something that's really good about what the survivor did, even though she got hit, it's fine. So every time they get hit, a survivor gets hit, they have a speed boost. They're able to run off, whatever. If she got hit and then as soon as she gets hit, takes the window, she's basically limiting that time. I need to complete my circles. She's basically limiting that time of that speed boost, and you're not going to get as much of a speed boost. So instead of obviously it's like a hopeless chance of of juking the hit, but it still works. So they jab here and then go out here. But even if they do get hit, they get that full speed boost. And also, wow, look at that. That's really bad. They get that full speed boost. And so also she knows the map, obviously. So she knows the shack is over here, which will give her probably enough time to get to a shack or a better loop. So really good job on her part. She also ran into the wall, which also isn't that good, but she still got the full loop. So he hits and then is off. Still checking on that gen, still. Yeah, so what I noticed here, this is actually really good. So he sees he sees that they're healing here, okay? So, any player, whatever, instead of, beelining here, beelining this way, where, there's however many meters of sight of Tru, even though he's uncloaked, you can still see him. I like how he kind of shifts off this way to try to get tree cover from this big tree. To where then he can just hide behind the tree, uncloak, and hit. That's perfect world. That's perfect world. But I really like the effort of how he did that. That was really nice. So see how he just shifts, try to get the tree, but they got the heal off. I don't know if they saw him or not, but they did get the heal off, so it's fine. Get the hit on Bill. Bill's probably gonna gonna check that generator too. Yeah, still being worked on, or hasn't been worked on. Yeah, gonna leave the Bill. There's no point in getting him through that loop. No point. No chance to even body block him either. So the gen's being worked on. And so he does it here. He veers off the survivor and keeps her from going to that loop without paying the tax of a hit. But really good job there on his part. I like that. So right now he's just juggling, hitting and juggling, hitting and juggling, and trying to maybe get a catch. And so he sees him being healed here. And so now you're like, okay, well, he's just blatantly, uncloaking on them. Well, think of it this way. If he were to uncloak, okay, if he were to sit here and uncloak in this spot, he wouldn't have enough time or be able to cover enough distance, even with his little speed boost, to where he'd be able to get them. So it's better if he's actually like on top of them and uncloaking this time. this time. So you got to think about those little things. Okay, body block there. He's probably a little mad about that. I would be too. So going through the loop, going through the bus loop. That's fine. Now he's got him scattered. This is really what he wants right here. No one's working on gens, or maybe one person, but everyone's scattered. Dead hard. Way to bait it. Easy down. Nice. And also, I don't know if he did this on purpose. I'm sure he did. So he knows that there's someone out there with a flashlight. Okay. He goes to pick up the survivor, but has the tree, blocking any chance of him getting a flashlight in his face, which is really smart and something that you should do. Is if someone has a flashlight, just face the wall while you're picking them up, so they can't come in between you and flashlight your face. So, but it's good. He's doing well. He's doing pretty good right now. So they got one gen. So right now he's really juggling these two gens because he knows that those survivors want it. As you can see, Bill wants it. Bill worked on it, and then Bill just tagged it, and so now it's just going to be an easy pop goes the weasel. So that gen's really low now. So this is something that I don't really like right now, what this ace is doing. And it's not to do with Tru, but it just has something to do with ace that really kind of bothers me. When people do these borrowed time plays, I don't honestly think it's worth in this state of the game. I don't think it's worth, because if you look at it from a pressure perspective, okay. So one person's hooked, one person's hooked, one person's going for it. So there's two possible people out there doing whatever, okay. And and you're basically making a blatant a blatant borrowed time play, okay. So right now you have one person healthy, one person hooked, okay. So basically you're trading a down for a borrowed time unhook, okay. But at the same time, okay, you're going to get another hook on someone. Then you're going to have an injured survivor who also has to mend their borrowed time away. So also wasting that person's time. So basically you're trading off, they're getting an unhook, but you're trading off another person being hooked, and also another person having to waste time, being injured, and also having to mend, which is, really what Tru wants. So this is kind of a really shitty play on the survivor's part. Tries to bait out the hit, but Tru ain't falling for that shit. Let me check my notes here if I have anything else. Yeah, I just think you could have gotten a safe hook because Tru doesn't really have a 3-gen. Tru doesn't have a 3-gen setup right now, so nothing's really binding him to that area. He's not bound to that location, so you can get a pretty safe unhook if you just give it time. The only gen that he's was super concerned about was this one, but he used Pop Goes the Weasel on it, so it's not even close to being done. So whatever. I mean, I guess it's just shit happens. So yeah, so he gets the hit, procs the borrowed time, gets the unhook, even brings the flashlight over. Oh my god. Oh, he uncloaked really well there. So now he's got all 4 people injured. This is literally Tru. I mean, this is the dream. This is the dream setup right now. Gonna pop goes the weasel out, so that thing's done. So that gen's completely rendered useless now. So what I love about Tru, how he plays Wraith, he uses his bell and uses the bone clapper so well. There's no point in using your coxcomb clapper, your bone clapper, if you're just blatantly uncloaking in front of him. So I love how he's just sitting behind the corner here. he sees, you know, the blood trails. He sees that people are working on it. Obviously, like, you know, Exhibit A, right? So I really love how he just kind of chills behind and then gets a nice easy down. And then obviously Ace has I don't remember if Ace has decisive or not, but mm, and yeah, whatever. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, so this is like really good discipline by Tru. Okay, this is a, you know, this is a pretty brutal, you know, pretty unmind gameable loop right now, unless you're nurse or spirit or something like that. Okay, or you know, you have to basically take the loop. Um, so he has one down, two down, and he's chasing one. So one person is literally all alone doing, you know, probably going to go for heals or whatever, wasting time. No gens are being done. This is beautiful. This is exactly what he wants. Okay, what I see a lot of killers do, especially when I'm playing my shitty survivor, the shitty survivor that I am, what I see a lot of killers do is, you know, the survivor took the proper way around the loop, you know, the long way, wasting as much time as possible. But killers try to mind game this. Like they try to, you know, moonwalk it or do whatever. Like, you know, it's you can't mind game it unless the survivor is completely blind. You can't mind game the loop. You know, the Wraith's too tall to, you know, use anything with these tires or anything with this truck, and even then, it's still so long that, like, you know, the distance to be covered, just you can't do it. So Tru, being the good player he is, patient, you know, takes the survivor all the way around the loop until she drops the pallet, and then it's like, okay, you know, we got rid of it. Like he has time for this right now. He has time to like loop. So she dead hards the loop, drops the pallet. That's fine. Okay. So one really good loop, you know, neutralized essentially. So the ace had unbreakable. Really good loop by Bill or Juke 360, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, he's literally in the position that he wants. All right, well, drop the pallet, which is nice, at least. So now he's gonna cloak. He knows. So, all right, so he's still just checking his gens. I mean, he's just the, you know, so disciplined with it. I love it. So I think this was, yeah, I think that was pretty greedy. I think that was a pretty greedy swing. Because I mean, if you look at the last time, if you look at the last time the ace, you know, tried to do this borrowed time play, okay, he was basically trying to run around the hook and try to, you know, optimize, you know, the borrowed time play by making Tru miss a hit or something like that. So I think just kind of, you know, around the corner, not kind of assessing the situation and assuming that ace is just going to go for a blatant unhook is a little greedy. But like just thinking that he would just go for a blatant unhook just doesn't really seem accurate, to be honest. Yeah. So he gets the borrowed time proc, which is good, which is really good. Waste time on her part. So yeah, knows she has decisive, not going to pick her up, not going to touch her. Good job. Still creating pressure. Still checking his gens. He's got a really good gen setup right now. He's got a really good gen setup right now with where they're placed and whatnot. Able to follow. Forgot about the Dreadhorde. Or he thought she didn't have it still. Sorry, I still got it though. So Tru3's, if you look at kind of the game in a macro state, in its entirety, Tru3's really kind of pertaining to one specific area, because the gens are being worked on, and he's able to, bounce back and forth quickly from those gens. If he's just kind of spreading across the area, going near shack and going near, all over the map, it would give the survivors an opportunity to really spread out the gens being done, and give them opportunities to, have 3 gens. When there's 1 gen left, have 3 possible gens all over the map, and it's just you're not able to juggle it, especially his Wraith. So I think the way he kind of plays the map and plays, the way he bounces around generators is really good. That uncloak there was a little suspect, but it's fine. He's just, that was good. That was a good juke. Good fake out, mind game, whatever you want to call it. And also another note is like, doing this and like staying in kind of one area of the map, all the pallets get wasted, so downing survivors becomes a lot easier. That was a really good dead hard. That was really good. Mad props to Bill there. I would like to see how this game would be played out if you had Thanatophobia instead of Pop. So they run off. Love that. They run off to the shack. No need to chase them. Because gens are the... I also love... So something for you new killers, if you are a new killer. What I love that he does is see how he peeks. I mean, look at his eyes too. See how he peeks at the gen? Okay. He's basically saying to himself, in his head, let's go in the mind of Tru. So let's go in the mind of Tru. So he's thinking to himself, okay, let's look at this gen, see what it is. Now, if you're a survivor that doesn't know, those 4 little cylinders, okay, those each represent a percentage: 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%. So each cylinder is a quarter of the generator. So he's basically saying, okay, if this thing is dangerously, close to being done, I'm going to go ahead and pop it. If not, if it's 50, if it's 50% and below, it's kind of like what my thought process. 50% and below, there's really no need to touch it. So if this is not dangerously close to being completed, then the chase is worth. Also, there are 2 reasons why the chase is also worth besides the generator. One being, this pallet is wasted. There's really nowhere that this ace can go that will be safe for him. And number 2 is that he just saw the 2 survivors run towards the shack back there. So there's only one possible person, and I don't think Bill is even over here, only one possible person that could come and realistically start working on this gen. So even if it was kind of dangerously close to being completed, the chase is still pretty much worth. So it's fine. So it gets the hit on ace. And ace, so something that survivors tend to do, is that they'll run away from all the generators to basically bait out the killer chasing them to relieve the pressure from the generators, which you should never buy into. But he ran towards one of his teammates, which gave him a free hit, which actually two of his teammates, which I don't think is, I don't know, I don't think it's the best idea. Now it's, all right, so Bill gets the one gen. So instead of even, worrying about those two other survivors that are going to unhook Ace any moment, um, you know, he's just, focused on the generators. Really good being on him being patient because he knows about her dead hard. It's really good on him. Really good patience. All right, so she's dead. So now really it's just Bill that's really doing something with gens. I think he's a little. Oh, yeah, that bug. I see it now. It's like you don't get that like initial, um, boost and lunge with after you get uncloaked. Yeah, that's kind of annoying because he could have had 3 pretty easy hits. Hmm. Good job on the Bill's part, not panicking. That was really good. Checking the gate. It's not being done. Kind of risky, but at the same time, kind of has to. Basically, swinging to, you know, get out of the way of the loop, or not of the pallet. Sorry. Pretty sure he heard someone. He heard the ace here, which is really good on his part. Ace gonna try to do the same play. Body block by Bill is really nice. Ace panicked, put the pallet down. He panicked so bad, but Ace should be dead here. Yeah, that's really good. So something you can do. They have the flashlight, and there really aren't any walls. You can bait the flashlight by like looking down, taking a moment as a survivor. So basically taking a moment to like look at the survivor, basically giving, but you're not picking them up, so you can get a really quick hit, which is nice. She almost got him too. Wow, the strong flashlight. Shit. Okay, and so she gets out. He just cloaks as soon as the bill comes out. Feels bad. So he basically had a 3-man, but a little misstep there. But he played all right. So yeah, just to kind of conclude, I think this build's really good. You can use Pop or Thanatophobia. The way he played it is really good. I just think it's kind of unfortunate with that huge house loop where he couldn't really do a whole lot when they went through there. But I think he played it. He played it very well. I think due to the bug with Wraith and his lunge coming out of cloak, I think he could have basically changed. The game would have been very different. Maybe probably even a 4-man if he got those lunges off. But unfortunately, he you know due to the game, he didn't. But again, I think he's a great player. I love watching his games and like kind of looking over and analyzing them. Um, but yeah, that's all I got. So thanks for watching.